I want us to talk about, let's spend some few minutes on that free market. So you say that free market could be detrimental in these times, especially.
No, exactly that's what we are even going through. It's quite a challenge for us.
Even if you create the enabling environment where, again, because there are a lot of people who are in the villages where these produce are grown, or if you like, and then there's good road, you have a lot of them coming in. So once we have a lot of them coming in, once you go into the market, there's competition. So these
are the long-term solutions.
No, this is not long-term. So it has to do with roads, basic amenities. It cannot be long-term anymore.
I think the issue of roads in this country
is long-term.
No, I'm saying the issue of roads in this country. I think we have to be very fair to ourselves. Looking at even what comes into the kitty, and then what we're trying to do on the within every administration. Probably this government has done a lot in the area of roads. But the point is that I'm saying the building of roads is not an instant thing. In fact, it will be generational, forever thing. In the advanced country, they're still building roads. The point I'm making is that these are long-term issues. There can be identified challenges with specific routes that has to be done, and I'm sure these are all part of the long-term challenges. It cannot be instant.
Well, long-term means what?
The long-term probably, of course, it can definitely go beyond even one administration, two administrations, but we are trying to build a country. You don't expect that instantly you get up in the morning, the next day, and all roads in this country can, even if you have the money, it cannot be done.
Nobody has said that, but just as you pointed out, priority roads. So when you feel that, okay, Charlie, this is a space where goods come in from. Let's tackle this one so that we can have it, because that is dependent.
Exactly the point I'm making. That you see, even the priority roads, there are lots in this country. You cannot actually pinpoint one or two, and a lot of them have been done, and a lot of them are being done, and a lot of them are even yet to be considered. Seriously. So I'm saying that we have a current challenge. We have an immediate challenge. There must be an immediate solution. So once we find a solution, and some of the measures in the short term is to come up with such arrangement to find a way to resolve the problem as it's heated now.
Okay.
Then in the course of time, the medium-term arrangement, probably some of them to identify some of the priority roads in a 5-year span, we find a way to manage them. And then in the long term, eventually, there must be a way strategically to, cushion. In fact, these are all fixing into the railway investments, and a lot of things are actually taking shape. But like we all know, we probably may need about 10-15 years to get to a certain level. Look, let me be frank with you. Sometimes we don't really acknowledge. But Ghana in 1992, I don't know how old you are, but Ghana in 1992.
I look old, don't I?
In Ghana in 1992, and Ghana today, there is a very vast difference.
Of course. And the difference is relative.
Yes. I'm talking about fiscal difference of the whole country itself. There's a very vast difference. The way we used to do things around that time and today, there's a very huge difference. I'm just proving the point to you that, look, we are in a country, we are building our country. Government must take leadership when things actually go bad or things are taking different shapes. Government must intervene. That intervention must always come in to cushion the people, but eventually you must allow the players on the market to take over.
Was that not what the bulk storage of food, the food and buffer stock was there to do?
Well, I think there is another arrangement. This the free SHS projects that is going on. There is also a food distribution agency. I've forgotten the name, headed by one Abnanos. I've forgotten the name. Yes, so they also are into collecting a lot of these foodstuffs, then distributing them to the various schools. I also understand that currently a whole lot of warehouses have been built across the country, and with time, government is coming up with arrangements to now be able to store some of the foods, those that are produced in excess in certain areas. Government can buy them and store them and then gradually be releasing them into the system. These are all intermediary arrangements I'm sure that the government is building on. It wouldn't happen instant. I think with time, we'll see the fruition of some of these things with time.
So you say because of the distribution to the senior high school, that's what has affected.
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I'm saying that.
That's what I asked you specifically.
No, that is also another function that particular organization is actually playing. I'm not very versed with the facts there. I don't want to go deep into it, but my understanding is that they are also taking care of this. the SHS students across this country by getting them, foodstuffs, particularly.
Have you heard from head teachers who have also said that, look, initially dealing with their private suppliers was easier, was more convenient than a centralized point now, because then there are issues of shortages, and once there's shortage, we cannot deal with external suppliers anymore. And that is why for a long time we've seen threats even from senior high school right up to even the colleges of education. Have you heard of those ones, or you are not again?
No. I think that with that particular issue, my brother, in my opinion, maybe the private institutions we're talking about, sorry, the head teachers we're talking about, I wouldn't pass a judgment on their position, but I'll state my position. In my opinion, I believe that currently, what we are doing in mobilizing the foodstuffs and then distributing them, I'm sure is more cost effective than what they are proposing. What they are proposing in the situation where they get the money, they buy their things the way they want.
That was what was happening.
No, the fact that was what was happening does not mean that it shouldn't be changed. If there is a possibility or an avenue to create a situation to make it better. Look, that particular arrangement of buying the foodstuffs and then distributing them has reduced the burden on the free SHS seriously. And if Ministry of Education should actually engage you and give you the fact, you realize that the alternative to what they are asking for probably may be very high, and we cannot actually share the burden. Probably, because if you are pushing the Education Ministry to take decisions that will eventually destroy the field, and then the same people will come back and say, but this is what you people, are doing. Now you can't even give us the money to take care of it. They have thought and they have realized that, look, it may cost, let's say, 2 cedis to get these products to you. But if we allow the system and you want to buy it yourself, by the time you try buying it, it may cost probably 5 cedis.
Who did that analysis?
I'm saying that they definitely have. But I think logic should even tell us that going to the farm gate, mobilizing the foodstuffs, and then distributing them to the various places, in that point, you don't even apply margins in terms of profit. But if you allow the private players to come in directly, it means that at each and every stage, there will be increment, there will be decisions, discretionary decisions, and determining margins that you cannot control. By the time the goods get to the schools, you cannot even pay. This one, you don't need anybody to explain to you.
No, because when we're doing this, the situations we are faced with now...
Please, it was there. Please, no headmaster. And if they say
levels.
that, please, you see, that's where we sometimes...
We are all in this country.
This is why we sometimes don't try to be very honest with ourselves.
I'm not honest with myself.
No, not you.
The levels of shortages we've seen, have you seen it in recent times?
The levels of shortage.
Food shortages.
But I think,
not getting to the schools.
I think that if you talk about levels, then you also look at the volume of people that are going to school today compared to the previous time.
Right.
So obviously you cannot compare the levels.
Right.
Because what we are experiencing now, in terms of number of people in school, is higher than what it used to be.
A lot of people
so I think we have to help this country.
Absolutely.
And so in this discussion, if the headmaster is telling you, you are in control of this country. The headmaster is telling you that pay 5 cedis for what you probably can pay 2 cedis for. And then because the headmasters are fighting or crying, then you just quickly push the money to them. Tomorrow, if you don't get a 5 cedi, they'll be the same people who tell you are irresponsible.
Absolutely. And that's a very germane concern. And I'll take it. And I'm saying that there have been a lot of people who have said that because of the food situation we are faced with, show leadership, ensure that cost no matter how little it is, goes to the parent. And even some of the parents have said that because we do not want, most of them, we do not want our children hungry in school. If it is even for 100 cities, would ensure that we can pay so that issues of food are sorted. But if you want to do it on your own and then the children bear the brunt, that's not too fair.
So your proposal is that
not my proposal.
So what you are suggesting leads to the fact that, okay, government, your capacity is about 2 cities. The headmasters are saying they want something that will be up to 5 cities in terms of the cost to them, so that they can take care of buying these things. So then government should give the 3 cities to the parents to pay. When government can avoid the 3 cities on parent in difficult times like this, in difficult times like this, is it not better for government to maintain even the distribution, which can be done? If there are challenges with the system, we try a little bit to correct it.
But it's not being done.
In this country, the way we are rushing government,
we are rushing.
Yes, I think we have to be fair with that. Let me tell you, my brother, we are all Ghanaians. And number 2, we are all human beings. Nobody knows outside better than all of us. When sometimes some of our friends, if it's not politically motivated,
why join politics?
Let me.
There are shortages.
I think
continuously.
I'm making a point. You have to let me finish. And this is very true. And I'm not saying rushing the MPP government. I'm sure that in this country, the way we are rushing government, we're forcing government to take decisions that would never be in our favor. An example is what you are talking about.
Which one?
I'm just giving an example. Today you hear a group of teachers say this. Tomorrow you hear another group of workers say that. And when you look at the demands, these are not things that should even lead to strike. And then immediately you see people rushing to strike. The way we are doing it, if we continue with this attitude, much as yes, it will keep government on their toes, which is somehow good, it will also force government to also take decisions that will be expedient to them to continue being in power. And by that, they will take very populist decisions against decisions that will actually benefit the country in the long term.
Let's return, because with that's not for the, I'm too sure you are referring to issues that have come up lately. Finance Minister has spoken about the free SHS. The former GS Director General has spoken about it. The issue of the cost sharing, burden sharing. It's not me. It's not my proposal. There are issues there. There are very difficult issues there. Children are not getting food to eat. I'm not talking even largely about the distribution. The distribution has a challenge. Can we fix it? I don't know about it. If we can, we have not done it yet. It is compounding. The issues are compounding. But there's been call, not from me, from your government. So if you want to say politics control some of these conversations, how about what the Finance Ministry has said? How about what the Director General, former Director General has said? I don't know. About burden sharing. That's my point. So if you say, you see what you usually do
if the conversation has to be on the free SHS.
No, it's not about the free SHS. It's about
no, because we have overflowed the free SHS.
No, it's food.
Please, the free SHS is just a decision by a government who thinks that we have a country and the levels of poverty across the country.
No, that's understandable.
Please, I'm coming. I'm just making a point. We are talking about free SHS projects that a government brought in, recognizing the challenges a lot of people are going through in this country. And it was an effort to minimize that kind of suffering. Today, that we are talking about the difficulty we are experiencing today in this country, at least we should even be appreciating this government. Because a lot of the poor, well, let me say those below, let me say the normal level, their children will also go to school. Even those on the normal level, even those who are even now, who call themselves in good condition, paying fees is not even easy these days. The free SHS model must have created a situation where now all these issues that will affect parents will be at least relaxed.